Do you ever have one of those days when you just wish life were simpler? You know, the kind of day when everything that can go wrong seems to go wrong, and then it rains, and you don't have an umbrella with you. My name is Ian Curry, and this is Thinking Out Loud. Come on, let me tell you what I think. Last time we talked about the inventor of blue LEDs, and I told the story as an illustration of how the world might be a better place if we spent time encouraging each other instead of being resistant to change and innovation. One of my friends pointed out that really, Suji Nakamura, the inventor, didn't just gain his success because others encouraged him, but rather because he was tenacious and determined. I had a little think about that this week, and yes, that's true. Perhaps that's another lesson we can learn. My personality is much more like A.A. Milne's Tigger from the Winnie the Pooh stories than Eeyore. I tend to bounce back fairly well when bad things happen. But sometimes, especially when it's one thing after another, well, occasionally I just get a bit down in the dumps. And once there, of course, it's very easy to stay there and feel all sorry for myself. You know, wallow. Recently I told you about a hole I had in the ceiling of one of our upstairs rooms. I knew what the problem was and just needed to get on and fix it. It wasn't getting worse. The damage was done. But I was still pretty discouraged about the process and how I'd found myself in such a situation. Once people we know found out we had a hole in the ceiling, well, I did mention it in a video too, several told me, "You need to have your roof changed. You should have done that a couple of years ago, and if you had, you wouldn't have to fix the ceiling." Or, "Well, with summer coming, you really need to get that fixed because the storms we get around here in the summer, they're just going to make it worse." Not very encouraging, and not too many offers of help either, but certainly a lot of uninformed advice. The roof is fine. We had a new one put on a couple of years ago, right when it needed to be changed. We also had the house painted. It looks lovely. But for whatever reason, 3 windows right at the top of the house got missed. The sills were bare wood with no paint or protection. Perhaps they got missed the last time the house was painted too, because they were so high up or something, and nobody ever goes up there to check. Well, the wood, of course, rotted, and that allowed water to seep in to the attic space and run across the ceiling unnoticed until one day, well, that's where the hole came from. The fix was fairly simple, but it just takes time and needs to be done on a day when I don't mind getting all messy. Of course, it had to be not raining to make the repair, and every time I had a couple of days off, down came the rain. Eventually, I got pretty depressed about it. When I finally did get up there to fix things, I was treated to a hornet's nest up there too. Lovely. Setting priorities and making time to repair things, especially when other things jump onto that round to it list faster than I can get to them, is one of the things that eventually wears me down. None of the problems I've faced are big at all. It's very easy to fix a hole in the ceiling reasonably well, and once I get a couple of coats of paint up there, you'll never know there was anything wrong. Nothing's particularly hard up there, it's just that there's a lot of it. Some people are discouraged easily, especially when something that seems huge to them comes along. But for me, it's usually when there's just what seems like 100 little things all to do at the same time, and I'm not keeping up. One of the things that helps me stay encouraged, a Tigger, is that I intentionally spend time with people who will encourage me, friends that get it. But what when even those people aren't there for you or turn out to be discouragers? Instead of wallowing or putting on a brave face that doesn't fool anybody, I find a quiet corner to do a little bit of thinking and reading. And even when things get really hectic, I carve out a few moments to be alone and read and pray and put things in perspective. There are plenty of catchy verses in the Bible or clever sayings on the internet that people use to try and encourage themselves. Don't be afraid, for I am with you. Don't be discouraged, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will hold you up with my victorious hand. I'm sure that one must have been used a good few times by down in the dumps people. But look again. It's not about pulling ourselves up by our bootstraps or snapping out of it. Look and see who it is that's talking here. It's not just any old person scribbling down encouraging phrases. Look, the I who promises to be with us says, I am your God. How about that? By now you'll know I love to look at the sentences in the Bible in the context of the one just next to them. Just look at the one right before there. For I have chosen you and will not throw you away. When we feel really useless, when people we thought were for us turn out not to be, and when everything that can go wrong does go wrong, having someone close enough to care really helps. And when that someone also made the universe and yet still cares about me, it's hard to stay down in the dumps for very long. This all sounds lovely, doesn't it? Well, sort of. So how is it that I still get down in the dumps? How do I still miss what God is trying to say? Take a look at how Joshua puts it. Study this book of instructions day and night, so you will be sure to obey everything written in it. Only then will you prosper and succeed in all you do. This is my commandment. Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or discouraged. Now, if that was all there was, you'd be justified in thinking, this isn't what I want to hear. This isn't going to work. But you have to read on. For the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. Do you see? It's not just staying encouraged by surrounding ourselves with people that we trust. It's staying encouraged because God himself is with us and with us wherever we go. Until next time, goodbye.